Hello everyone, today I'll be drafting a two-piece corset, and right here I had already gone ahead to do the basic bodice drafting. So here I was trying to do the shoulder darts. So here I divided the shoulder into two, and then I marked the midpoint, and then from the midpoint I connect down to the bust span. So this straight line in the middle is the bust span, the nipple to nipple or bust span. So you can either do your under bust and your waist darting before the shoulder darts, or you can do the shoulder darts before. Either way it goes. So once this is done, you come to the bust part, and then you come down by 1 inch, and then you also go up by half an inch. For the darts, for the waist and the under bust darts, I'm going to be using 1 inch on both sides. So like I'm doing here, you mark 1 inch on the waist or under bust, and then on both sides, then you come down to the blouse length and you mark 1 inch on the both sides as well. You see what I am using here? It looks as if I am using more than 1 inch, but please, it is 1 inch. My tape rule is not very correct, so the beginning is longer than normal 1 inch, so I prefer to start from 1 if I want to mark things like that. So I know how to manipulate my tape, so never mind it. So after indicating or marking out the 1 inch, then you roll out straight lines to connect them together. Then afterwards you make your curve. Forgive my not using French curve. You're supposed to use French curve. I'm already conversant with not using French curve, but my French curve broke, so I don't have French curve for now. So this is what I can always manipulate my way with my free hands. So if you know you cannot do with free hands, you can't draft with free hands, please endeavor to have your French curve. So next up is our chest line dart manipulation. So I used 1.5 inches on this line. I used 1 inch by the right and ½ inch on the left. So this is what it looks like after the chest dart manipulation, and we have our curves. So after this, we're going to go ahead to start getting our cups. I was doing the 360 indication that was necessary if your client's bust is not so big, but if it's very large, it's actually not necessary for this drafting, but I had to put it down so that if you watch other videos you will not be confused. You can do it and you can do without it. This is how it is gotten. You can get your curves or your cups without it. There are so many ways to get corset cups, so this is just a way. At the center front, I marked out 1 inch. Some people use ½ inch, some people use 0.7 inches, but I chose to use 1 inch because I want my center front to be wide. At the difference or distance between the two cups, I want the distance to be wide. I didn't want the distance to be short, so that when I joined with ½ inches on both sides, it will become 1 inch, because it's actually going to be on fold while I'm cutting. When I cut out, it's going to be on fold, so this drafting is also on fold. So after marking out the 1 inch, I went ahead to connect. If you can see, if you watch closely, you can see two lines on the chest line. The top one is for our joining so that it doesn't affect our sewing. Then I went ahead to connect our circle, that's our 360 circle. I went ahead to use the marker to properly connect it round, and after that I went ahead to use the ruler to connect our chest darts to the top ½ inch line. So after that I connected the center front dart line to the 1 inch that I marked out from the center front to get the top curve, and afterwards I also went out to curve out our side dart line. I connected it like so to the armhole. That is how we have gotten our top curve for the armhole part. Once you've gotten the center front curve and the side curves, then what is left is the bottom cup. It's time for you to measure where the end of your armhole will be. Then once you get it, you divide it by 2, and at that 2 you come down by ½ inch, and on that ½ inch, that is where your side cup or your side curve will drop for the top left or side curve, just like I am doing right here. If you look closely, you see that our armhole curve is actually doubled. So the first one is the one for the busty clients, then the second one that I came down by ½ inch is actually for a less busty client. So because I am using freehand, I'm not using my French curve. If I use my freehand directly from our center front, it would not go very smoothly. So I had to come down with a straight line from that center front line, and then I ruled down to the bust point, just as I am doing. Just do as I am doing, or you watch carefully what I'm doing. But if you have your French curve, all you need to do is just place it on that 1 inch extended line or 1 inch line that you already brought out from the center front. Then you go ahead and put it at your underbust, and you connect to that underbust line to create your cup or your curve. So once my line was made, I went ahead to curve up the line. I curved from that line that I drew down to my bust point, then to the underbust I curved it like so. Then I moved on to the side curve, and this I had to do very carefully because I didn't have my French curve. If you had your French curve, you just have to place it at the end of your top side curve or the end of your armhole, and then you place it and connect it to the underbust line, and you have your cup. So I went ahead to strike out the chest line that wasn't necessary. So it is the straight darts that I'm going to be making use of. I'm going to be cutting out. So at this point, I started imputing measurements. I imputed the bust measurements, then the underbust measurement. At the underbust measurement, I added the 2 inches darts that I created, so I had to add it back, and the same thing for the waist and length. So you just replace the 2 inches dart, then you add your sewing allowance. Afterwards, you go into your numbering. Whenever you're cutting corsets or pieces, anything that has to do with pieces, you always number it. With that done, you move over to your cutting. So you just carefully follow the right lines. And after I was done cutting, I went ahead to cut out my desired yoke or shoulder. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you got something of value from this video, please give it a thumbs up. Set up the notification bell so that whenever I upload new video, you can be notified. Thank you again.